All right, all. Hey, I'm coming direct to you from my parents' driveway in Redding, California, the side driveway where the projects happen. And yeah, Hella and I are a real project right now. That's putting it mildly. So, yes, Hella clipped my wings for a while. Anybody who follows my Instagram story knows that Hella was making terrible sounds as I was approaching Gerlach. I knew she was going to break. And even while I was at the burn, I had to make the decision to just go straight to my folks' place in Redding, California, which was a much shorter distance than heading back to Seattle. And I was just hoping I could get here. Well, I came up 50 miles short. My rear drive shaft catastrophically came apart, broke, and had to pull over quickly. It was drama. It was fun. And dropped the drive shaft, and I drove the last 50 miles to Redding using just my front axle in four-wheel drive. So here's to old school four-wheel drive, man. Saved the day that day. Didn't have to get towed. I went slow. 40 was my max, but she got me here. And yeah, so now waiting on some parts to fix up that. In the meantime, I have repaired my heater core, replaced it. I'm reupholstering my front seats with barracks bags, canvas barracks bags. That's coming along. It's cheap, and that's what I need. Cheap, durable, and it looks right in the rig. I'll show you when it's all done. And what else? Yeah, I'm going to rebuild my carburetor and rejet it, lean it out a little with the metering rods, because she runs a bit rich. And then, of course, I'm waiting on the drive shaft that I found from Midwest Military. They shipped it out to me Monday. So it should be here any day once I get that in there and checked out and taken to a drive shaft shop to have them make sure it's balanced and straight and everything. I'm going to pull out the rear third member and get that all patched up, get that rebuilt by a local shop here. So we're making progress on everything, but it's still going to be a few weeks before I'm out of here. So wings clipped, and it was unexpected after the burn. I mean, I really had hoped I wouldn't be clipped, but I did get clipped. And that's hard for me. That's really hard for me. Haven't had the post-burn kind of decompression period I expected. I'm so grateful to my dad and stepmom for accommodating me and giving me a safe place to be. And I'd never been broke down in such a luxurious situation as this. So I'm grateful, but I've also been really strangely emotional. It's just not where I expected to be. It just goes to show you expectations can be not so great sometimes. So the amazing thing is, after 8 years and 3 years that I bought tickets to go to the burn and had to sell them at the last minute, I finally made it back in 2023 for a pretty historic burn. As everybody who watches the news knows, we got unprecedented rain on the Friday before the man burn, and you saw that in my last video. I'm not going to go over that, but I made it back, and I knew things were going bad in my rig getting down there. I knew something in the drivetrain was going bad. Thank God it didn't turn out to be transmission or transfer case. But I couldn't not go. My kids were on their way. I was going. It was Burning Man or bust, and made it and got 170 miles away from it after the fact before it was bust. But bust did come, and that was really stressful and very not my thing. I don't drive along with something going bad when I know something's going bad, but I couldn't figure it out on the fly. So I just kept going, and I'm really glad I did. I'm really, really glad I did. I feel like I broke a curse, finally getting back to that city in the desert, that thing in the desert, as we say. So anybody who watches my videos and saw last week's video, you know that my kids were with me at the burn, and that was never my original intent. This was a real pilgrimage for me, because my previous burns, I was separated from my wife and going through a heck of a grieving time and a lot of painful growth. And so they were brutally emotional experiences at the burn, transformational and really great, and what motivated a lot of what I do today with the gifting with Jackdaw, but difficult nonetheless. And so it's always been my intent to get back there and have the Burning Man experience without all the grief. And to a large extent, I did. This was not a brutal personal thing. It was emotional, putting Mom's tribute in the temple that Nick created and sitting with that and saying goodbye. That was emotional. But it was very different. And having my kids there, it was wonderful. It was actually a great experience to really move into the place that these are fully independent young adults, and I don't have to be fathering them or dadding them like is my natural instinct. Anyone who's been a parent, as soon as you're around your kids, you feel like, oh, parent time. I don't imagine that ever changes, but this was a real opportunity to kind of move out of that mode a little bit and us all be independent adults. And it was amazing to really see them in different elements, how they're maturing and who they are now, and in that really unique environment to see how it resonated with them. And it was really, really an amazing experience to be there with them. Having had that burn with them, I can't imagine not having had them there. I know it would have been a really different experience if I'd been by myself. So, they say you get the burn you're supposed to have, or something like that. Burners know what I'm talking about. You get what you're supposed to experience, and I did, and I gained a lot from it. Chief among those things was a new insight on my children and how independent and capable they are, and what wonderful human beings they are. And they're so different, yet so alike. And I see myself more in both of them than I ever have before. And the burn was just a new opportunity to realize that in a deeper way. It was great. Love you guys. So, something I learned in my experience with this burn is that I am indeed slowing down. I just turned 58 last July, and I went to Black Rock City expecting to have the energy level, and I'm bounding around getting to all the things I want to get to energy that I had 8 years ago the last time I was there. And so it was really interesting to be somewhere like that that's familiar, yet so much time has passed that I have really changed physiologically. I'm heavier than I was. Well, I lost like 30 pounds in a month and a half going through that whole separation, divorce thing. And so when I was there, I was 20 pounds less than I am now. And that was a factor. I was like, dang, my energy level. And I dealt with the heat just fine after a couple days of adjusting. But certain parts of being there showed me that I've grown older. And anytime you have that experience as you do grow older, where there's something that's kind of a feature point where a significant amount of time has passed, it can be really profound. And it certainly was. And it really drove it home to me how precious these moments are, and to continue to working on being more present and not taking anything for granted, because the reality is time is passing. Just like that huge, gorgeous city in the desert of 75,000 creative souls and people sharing their energy is so temporal. It's gone now. It's up there for a week in its full glory, and then it's gone, a month later. It's a lot like life. And boy, it drove home to me how much older I am now. So that's been interesting and had me thinking a lot about what I'm doing. I feel good about what I'm doing. That, I'm thrilled to be doing the gifting and the traveling I'm doing. But it's also driven it home to me that, this lifestyle I live doesn't put down any roots. It really doesn't. I'm always moving. And I'm healthy. I can keep doing that. There's no end in sight for me. I love it. But it also makes you start considering some practicalities as you get older. It really does. But practicalities aside, it is an amazing blessing to be the age I am and not have any health issues, I can exercise more, and I need to. I want to stay in good shape for the rest of my days, but to be as physically capable as I am at 58 and no limitations, be able to do this, that's quite a tremendous blessing, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. Yeah, shit. Aging is a gift. If you can keep it in perspective, I really believe it is, because it slows you down, makes you consider things a little more deeply, think about your choices more, with a little more wisdom, hopefully. We'll see. But I just had a really unexpected post-burn experience being here at my dad's, and not being out having those, solo days to just reflect. So I've been plunged right into the work on the truck and all sorts of other things, and it's just been not what I expected, but it is getting some messages through to me, and I am grateful for that. All right, so I'm just going to wrap it up saying I think my biggest takeaway from the burn is how temporary everything is. And we in our culture get pretty obsessed with permanence and guarantees and our illusion of security that, oh yes, this is going to be here for me next year or 5 years or 10 years from now. This is how it's going to be. And that's my big takeaway, is that no. Don't be falling into those expectations and those illusions that you have control. Because really, all you have control of is what you do in this moment, what you say. Tomorrow can throw something at you you never could have seen coming in a million years. Changes everything. The whole long-term plan is gone. I'm not saying don't plan. I'm just saying plan, but stay in the moment. Live in this day, because it's all you have. It's all you're ever going to have, is this day and this moment you're in. And it's really important to treasure that, because it's never coming again. And it could be your last. I could make this video and go for a bike ride and be taken out by some crazy driver or something. Every day something could happen that you're done with this phase of whatever your existence is. So it reminded me of the temporary nature of life, how change is the only constant. The only thing we can bank on is change, and that we need to hold precious those we love and really prioritize the people and things that matter in our lives. And it isn't the stuff. We all have stuff in our lives that's important to me. Anybody who knows me knows this truck looms large in my life. It's like been a life goal. It's a passion of mine. But the whole last 6 months of breakdowns and trouble and everything has kind of helped bring me down to earth. I mean, I'm always going to be passionate about this truck, but it's not something that loves me. So I'll always love this rig, but it's been good that so much has happened this year with it that I've had to deal with. And it's kind of brought me down to a really grounded place in my relationship with this truck. I'm devoted. I'm going to keep it working. I love the thing. But I'm also seeing it more as a truck, and it is my home. It's not a person like I have sometimes felt. And anybody who's a car person knows how you can get very sentimental and very attached to a vehicle that's your dream whatever. So that's always going to be me. I'm that kind of car guy. I'm never going to deny that. But I feel like I'm getting in a better perspective between the burn and between all the trials and tribulations the truck has thrown at me this summer. All in all, I'm coming into a really good place. There's been some painful shifts and realizations about more work I have to do personally. And, everything has served to get me there, from the breakdowns to Burning Man to all my experiences in between and leading up to and after. And I hope that you all are considering all the big things going on in your life. Make time to think about it. Make time to ponder how you're feeling, really feeling. Getting inside your body and present in your body, not so much your head. See how your body feels from the inside. I mean, sounds crazy, but it's not. It's important to do. And I've been making more time for that too. So anyway, that's what I got for you. That's my big post-burn reflections. And I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good day.